Good morning guys, and welcome back to another episode of Bareham Engines. So as you can see by the big smile on my face guys, we've got the E30 back. So this afternoon I'm just going to drop this off to Mikey, but looking at it guys, absolutely fantastic job that he's doing with this car. Really excited. But we are going to have a look around this in a second, and we're going to be putting it in our second channel, which is going to be on tomorrow at midday, so Saturday midday. So head over to that channel guys if you haven't yet, like, subscribe to it if you can, and check out our reaction to what Mikey's done so far. But until then, let's have a little look around the workshop, see what we've got going on. So this Alfa Romeo cylinder head on the milling machine here, this is Paul's cylinder head for his own company. As I've told you before, Paul builds his own Alfa Romeos. New channel on its way from Paul, so I'll enlighten you when he gets going with that. This cylinder head here, all we've had to do with it, it's got perfect guides. I don't know whether he's put new guides in it, I expect so. He just wants the seats cut minimal and the head refacing. So I'm just in the process of skimming the head. It looks like it's going to clean with one cut, but I just want to tell you about the valve seats. So as standard, these seats, a bit of an old school seat, you can see there, they normally come with a 30-degree full seat, so you haven't got the 60 or the 30 on the outside of the sitting seat. It's just one straight cut, so we want to modernise that. And as you can see, they come with a flat 30-degree cut right across the valve, but as you can see, we put the three-phase cut on there. So what we do is we use the full 30-degree on the valve head, measure that on our Centronic over there, and we set the three-face 30-degree cutter on with a 2mm 30-degree face, and use the most of the seat. Basically, you can see on the inside of that that we've got the 60-degree down the bottom, and that just gives you a better flow. It's a more modern profile and just makes the most of the valve and the port really. So that's what Paul's asked for. So that's what we're doing at the moment guys. This is a road head, that's why we've gone for the 2mm 30-degree seat. Other than that, we have got the 1.5mm, which is obviously a smaller seat, but just shortens the life of the seat basically, but you do get more of a flow out of it, and we'll do that on the race engines competition stuff. So what have we here guys? Now what we have here is a Trifid of an exhaust manifold. Now this is off an MGB. You can see it's a 3-branch manifold, so obviously with the MGB cylinder head you've got 3 exhaust ports, the 2 centre ones go into one and the outer ones go to just individual. So back in those days, not too important on obviously the flow of everything, else they would have done, that's when they eventually started doing the 4-branch on stuff. But anyway, as you can see, it's a big old Trifid of the thing with these long 3 legs, which obviously unsupported or unbraced over time have just all come adrift from each other, as in alignment. So with this setup, just done the best we can really, try and clamp it where we can, get the tops as level as we can, and try and just clamp it as sturdy as possible. So I've got the 4 jacks, 2 either side in the middle one, and just 2 clamps holding it down as best we can so it's sturdy. Really, that's all you can do. But yeah, just thought I would show you that one guys. This centre branch here is about 1 millimetre lower than the outside too, so obviously that's been blowing a gasket for some time. But I would have thought with another 10 thou this should clean, and that'd be job done then. Now before I go any further guys, a few of you I've noticed in the comments have said you look really tired, Lee, you need to relax, you need to take it easy, take a step back, you're starting to look a bit tired. I have actually had really bad hay fever the last month or two. Been on hay fever tablets every day, but yeah, starting to look a little bit ropey. Although last night I did have a little bit of a stomach bug, so been a bit icky all night. Didn't think I was going to be in today, but had to come in, and there's a reason for that guys. I'm really excited. So the S50 for the E30, I know I said I weren't going to go on about it too much in this channel, but seeing as it's the engine and this is an engine channel, that's what we're going to go on about. So there was talks of us originally not getting involved in the engine. We knew the engine run absolutely perfect before by the previous guy that owned it. So it was one of those where there was a part of me that was thinking about just cleaning it all up, painting it, leaving it alone. I have spoke to a couple of guys that race E36 M3s, and they said they've been running engines with about 100,000 miles on. As soon as you start playing with them, they tend to be a bit unreliable. So I was tempted to leave it alone, but at the end of the day, like Paul said, we're building a car. There's a lot of money going into this car. It's a car for you guys on the channel, etc. What do we do here? Build engines? We're going to have to build the engine. So we pulled it apart, and this is what we found. As you can see, we've got quite a lot of the engine stuff on here. First of all, we'll start with the crank. Crank is in absolutely immaculate condition. We've measured that, it's perfect. So obviously we are going to be balancing this crank with the assembly. The flywheel was a lightened item anyway. It's a 5 kilogram flywheel in steel. So we've faced that flywheel. It hasn't been used for very long. We've just given it a little face over, and we've sent that over to CG Motorsport, who are going to prepare us a clutch for the track and road use. So he's saying he's going to get that done by middle of next week, which is fantastic. Camshafts, we're going to keep standard camshafts. We're obviously just going to go through the cylinder head. Here's the cylinder head. There's no sign, fortunately, of it blowing a gasket at all. This is the original gasket, but it does look pretty wet, and the bores did look fairly glazed, to be honest with you. So I am glad that we took it to bits. What I've chose to do, now I know that I said that I wouldn't do this for customers, but being as it's our own engine, the pistons are in immaculate condition, the original items are really good, and I want to keep this thing pretty stock. So what I've chose to do, I've measured the bores measure absolutely cock on size, 86.4 mil. So what I've done is I've took a thou out of those bores, give it a bit of extra clearance, took the glaze off them, and we're going to put a set of genuine rings in this. So yep, I know what I've been saying over the last year or so, guys, about us not building engines and re-ringing. We wouldn't do it for a customer, and the reason is for that is because you can. There is a very slight chance that the rings could not bed in, it could smoke. If that happens to us, then it happens to us, but we're willing to take that risk. But yeah, everything we've looked at so far is pretty good on this motor. Obviously, we're going to balance everything. You see here, Paul's cleaned up the rods. We've measured the housings on the rods, and they measure about middle of the road. So we've took those out about quarter of a thou to the looser side, as we always do on most race stuff. And that's trued them up absolutely perfect. These are the original pistons. We're going to clean these up. As I say, these are a really good item, these pistons. The ring lands are absolutely cock on, so I'm more than happy to use those. Big box of bits here, guys, all blasted up. Got the throttle bodies in there. Made good use of our vapor blaster with all this lot, looking absolutely fantastic. Still got a load of bits here to sort out. Still toying about buying a carbon airbox. Not sure yet. All depends on budget eventually. But yeah, as I say, guys, really excited. So what we're going to do from now on, we'll obviously put most of this into the second channel, but we're just going to crack on with the machining work and let you guys see what we found, really. First of all, the block. Well, guys, it is thumbnail and title time. And what is it about today? What was there? What is missing? The Golf engine. Let's get in the office where it's a bit quieter, and I'll tell you what's going on. So, where have we left it with the Golf engine? What has happened to the engine? Why is it not sitting there anymore? So, last week, the customer actually paid up. He's paid up for the labour so far. I did deduct the previous week and previous to that storage out of goodwill, and I said to him, this was from the weekend of last weekend or the previous weekend. I said I will start charging storage of £10 a day from the Monday. So he picked it up on the Thursday, I believe. I wasn't here, I had to go early, and he's turned up about 4:45, I believe. So I've charged him £30 storage plus the VAT plus the money he owed for the labour. Now, he did email me saying he's paid it because he wants his engine back. He is going to get the thing checked out by an independent engineer, which was what all the fuss was originally. So I don't quite know why there was all the fuss. Why didn't he just do it in the first place? But anyway, he said he'll pay the bill under duress or whatever it is. Obviously he's not happy about it. And I said, well, as I said to you at the very beginning, the whole point of the charge was because at the moment, until an independent engineer's had a look at it, what can I say? You know, our conclusion is final, isn't it? Until someone else has a look at it. And the agreement was at the beginning, after a final conclusion, if it is determined that we are not at fault, which at the moment we don't think we are, then there's going to be a charge for all the labour. Now, there was a discrepancy also with him on that charge. He's calling it an inspection charge, inspection, whatever it is, it's labour. My point was originally that all labour will be paid if it's concluded that we're not at fault. So that's where we are at the moment, guys. That's why it's missing out of the workshop. He's took it away. He's paid the bill. I did state to him that if an independent engineer concludes evidently that we are at fault or it's something that we've done, we will rectify the engine. We will pay for the parts and the labour, and we will also refund that money, obviously, for the labour that is paid so far, and also the storage. So that's where we are, guys. I hope it all ends well. We obviously don't like things to sort of end like this, but yeah, fingers crossed we can get to a proper conclusion in the near future. You can see the block is pretty clean now, all the core plugs out, and we've just give the block a literal 2 thou cut just to clean it up. And now I'm going to set the block up on the hone and just hone these bores out. Absolutely perfect. And because it's not a customer's engine, because it's my own, we're going to re-ring it. And there wasn't any issue with this engine. As I say, they measure absolutely perfect. So we'll take the glaze off them, set of rings. Obviously, wouldn't be doing that if it was a customer's, but because it's mine, I think that's all it needs. The original pistons are in immaculate condition, so let's get this done and then Paul can paint the block. I've honed out the S50 block. As you can see, there's a very, very light witness mark at the top there where the top ring's been. But when we measured this, the bore size is 86.4 and it measured absolutely cock on size. So I've opened this out another thou. It's always better to have a little bit more clearance. It's certainly not going to be anything where like enough to slap or anything, but just that a little bit extra clearance for track use is perfect. You can see little tiny witness mark, but that doesn't matter at all. So as I say, certainly wouldn't be doing this for a customer. You do run the risk of, with this, you know, that it's going to the rings are not going to bed in, but obviously because it's ours, we're willing to take that risk. The pistons are in immaculate condition, so and the standard pistons are a really good design, to be honest. So yeah, that's all good, ready for Paul to take outside and clean. Really excited about this now, guys. So there we go for another weekend, guys. It's Friday, we are off soon. If you haven't already, head over by hitting the link in the description below to our second channel. You may find it really interesting, guys. If you haven't already, like, subscribe to that channel. We're going to be doing a lot more kit car, E30, general stuff, general live stuff as well, really. So you may find it interesting, as I say. But yeah, head over there to see our reaction to the E30, shall we? Until Monday, have a great weekend, and we'll see you then. Cheers, guys.